Hello, peoples. I'm making coffee. It's almost ready. Okay. And there we go. And it drips through. And it's cold, and it's dark, and it's rainy, and it's nice and cozy inside. I'm thankful for that. And here we go with the show in 3, 2, 1. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Today is Monday. It's November 23rd, 2020. My name's Jeremy, and this is my first cup of coffee. Came out good. Came out good today. Well, I hope you had a great weekend. I had a pretty good weekend. So the intent was to take a half day on Friday. That's something I'm working towards. It didn't quite happen. I had my last meeting at noon. It ended at 12:30. And then I tackled a project for a client that was supposed to take about 15 minutes, took an hour. And then I stopped in at someone who happened to be a client to pick up something, and she thought I was there for a meeting, which was totally fine because we actually had a really good meeting. And so my day ended at 4, which still isn't like out of the question. It's still a little bit on the early side, but yeah. Work this weekend, I think I did maybe an hour yesterday. Came out pretty good. Came out to be a pretty good weekend. Went to the gym, went for a walk. What else did I do? Cooked some food, watched TV, played video games, hung out with the cat, worked in the yard, did all the things that you would probably expect that I would do. And now here I am, rested up, ready to go. Something I'd like you all to consider for this week: shows for Thursday and Friday. Will you be watching? I'm on the fence about what days to do live or pre-recorded or not at all. Because I want to make sure I give you guys stuff, but if you're not going to watch it, right, why bother? So I may come up with something for Thanksgiving Day. I don't know. I'm thinking about this, and I'm inviting some conversation. So if you have thoughts, post them below or reach out to me in one of the 700 ways people can get a hold of me. If you have a way of getting a hold of me, it's fine. Use that. What's going on today? Good morning, Frank. What is going on today? Work, client stuff, writing. I'm almost at 20,000 words on the book. Initial feedback has been very good. It's going to be long. I didn't want it to be this long of a book. It's 20,000 words, and I'm not even done with the second chapter. Third chapter. I gotta call the intro a chapter. It's not chapter 1, but it's still a chapter. So it's gonna be a long book, which makes editing harder. And I'm looking at I really wanted it done by the end of the month. I don't see that happening, but I'm gonna do my best. See what I can do. Just hammer through it. I was looking at it. It's going to be long enough. I was looking, do I split the book? Do I split it in half? And no, because there has to be some kind of dramatic finish, and there's no way to put a dramatic finish in the middle. Not that doesn't feel forced. And I don't want to force it. So what I'm thinking is, given that the fuzzball is going to wake me up regardless, given that I am not predisposed to Black Friday shopping. Oh, by the way, we have, I'll tell you in advance, those of you here, we're doing the programs 50% off. The strength, the speed, the fight conditioning programs at 50% off for Black Friday. That's the only, We're running that sale, and then we're doing an apparel sale for Cyber Monday. That's it. That's all we're doing this year. The last few years has just been getting crazy, and it's getting crazier and crazier with everybody. And I said, you know, I don't want to participate in the crazy. We'll do something, and this is what we're doing. So, if you're going to buy apparel, wait for Monday. If you're going to buy a program, wait for Friday. Those are the best deals you're going to find all year. That's how we're doing it. So me participating in Black Friday as a consumer, I don't need anything. I'm keeping my eyes peeled to see if there's something that's like really jumps out at me. And there hasn't been anything yet. I just spent like money on that PlayStation. There's not anything else I need. So given that that's going to happen, and I'm going to be up, maybe Friday is just a writing day. Maybe I can get through, you know, well, I've done 5,000 words in a day. Maybe I can do 10. Maybe I can do 15. Maybe I can just really plow through. And so maybe the book will be, the first draft will be ready by the end of the month. I'm going to try. I really am. I set that deadline for myself. I made it public. I've got 7.5 chapters left, which at this rate is 50,000 words in 8 days. It's going to be tough. We'll see what happens. If I can do it, I do it. If I can't, I can't. But I'll try. Had a good conversation with a friend yesterday, and one of the things I really appreciate about this friend is that we can have really good conversation about just about anything. And if we disagree on things, it turns into more of an advocacy, of a debate. It's never personal. It's never, I can't believe you believe that. There's an effort, here's I think the best way to express it. There's an effort when we disagree that instead of the initial belief being, the initial reaction being that the other person is lacking in some way. Oh, good morning, Stacy. Been missing seeing your name pop up as well. The initial reaction is not that the other person not thinking the same thing is somehow lacking, but I have done a poor job in advocating for the position. And that's, we spent 2 hours on the phone yesterday doing that. We talked about everything from politics to financial stuff, to just, you know, all the stuff I don't talk about on here. I talk about it with him. He's probably the safest place I know of to talk about it because we've been friends forever and we agree on quite a bit, but not all. And I feel more informed when I'm done talking with him. And I think he would say the same. He's a good guy. Childhood friend. What else happened yesterday? Not much. Just kind of standard day stuff. Slept in. The cat's got this habit where when she wants me to wake up, she gets right in my face and purrs. And it's adorable and annoying. It's both of those things at the same time. So I just kind of push her off or blow in her face. She doesn't like that. She'll back off. And then she purrs from afar. And then I got up. So, I think that's all I have to say. Let's see what you all wrote. Let's see what stuff is here for me to talk about. If you've got stuff you want me to talk about, drop it in the comment section. You know I'll talk about it. Oh, on Friday I also made 3 more videos about my stupid car. Because, so on Friday, I've been thinking about a couple of them because lo and behold, I found more problems. Nobody's shocked about that. And I was going to make videos about them. And then one of the Mazda Facebook group I'm in, Frank says, it sounds like the perfect way to wake up. You're quick with the puns, man. All these Mazda fans were posting that Consumer Reports has named Mazda the most reliable vehicle brand. And they're just going nuts, posting link to article after article about it. And this is a Mazda 3 group. And then somebody dug in to the ratings and posted a screenshot showing that the Mazda 3, the car we all have, is by far the least reliable Mazda vehicle, and so far below standards that it gets into that yellow. Like, it's not a reliable car. It's a disaster. And so that inspired me. I made a video with some screen capture and put that on YouTube. And I showed pictures of the bad leather in my back seat. And I showed pictures of the rust on my 18-month-old car in a spot that doesn't even get exposed to the elements. Good job, Mazda. And I did the math. These videos have an embarrassing number of views. Like, I could put up one of these videos and it gets way more views than anything we do with martial arts radio, which really makes me sad. Speaking of which, it's Monday, and we have episode 556 with Mr. David Liban. And let's see. Let me pop this one open. Is this the guy I think it is? Oh yeah, this is the filmmaker dude. This guy's got a documentary about him that he made, about his journey to black belt. It's a really cool story. I liked the episode. I thought we had a lot of fun. He seemed to have fun. So check that out. It's there. Martial Arts Radio website is back up. Knock on wood. It is fixed. We have some stuff that we have to fix on the back end, so there aren't new episodes up yet. But they should be there soon. So we'll get there. Stupid hackers. All right. Where am I going? Go back. That one. All right. Frank says, I looked at several PlayStation jokes but didn't think they were funny enough, so I went with some video game themed jokes instead. Yeah. On Friday, Frank gives us jokes, and Friday he gave us video game jokes. Sun Tzu was an ancient Chinese general and author of The Art of War. His exact birth date is unknown, but scholars have narrowed it down to the year 544 BC. Today we have quotes from Sun Tzu. It is more important to outthink your enemy than to outfight him. We talked, I forget what day it was. We talked at some point last week about the notion of being patient. I think it might have been Friday. I think we were talking about Hicks and Gracie and quotes from Hicks and Gracie. And this notion that by being gentle, by being controlled, by being patient, you can be so much more effective, not just in martial arts, not just in training, not just in competition or a real life situation, but just in anything. It is so rare that something is happening so quickly that you can't take a few seconds or a few minutes or even a few hours to really think about it. I used to think that my gut reaction was the best thing, and it's usually not. And I'm going to guess that that's the case for most people. Gut reactions tend to be emotional. They tend to be based on instinct and completely bypass mental acuity, any wisdom that you actually have. So to take a step back and say, all right, what's really going on here? Maybe you talk to a couple people. Maybe you diagram it. Maybe you write it. Maybe you play out some scenarios. To think, here's an exercise I've been doing of late that I find a lot of value in. If you take a scenario, you can break it down to enough steps that you can usually do a pretty good job of plotting out how it's going to go. Let's see, what's a good example? let's say I'm going door to door selling vacuum cleaners. There's a cliche that I don't think happens anymore. I pull up to somebody's house. I get out of the car. I take out the vacuum. If they see me take out the vacuum, there's a lower chance that they're going to answer the door, right? If they don't see me take out the vacuum, they have a reasonably high chance of opening the door when I knock. The only course of action I have, regardless, is to knock on the door. Knock on the door. They're going to answer the door, or they're not. I can't do anything about that at this point. The first thing I have control over is, what do I say? How do I act when they open the door? So if I'm going to go into that situation, do I just jump in the car with my vacuum cleaner? No. I spend some time rehearsing, figuring out what is it that I'm going to say. Now, I might say, let's say we get halfway through and they say, I have a vacuum cleaner. I'm really happy with it. At some point, somebody's going to object. So I should have something ready for that, right? So we break it down, break it down, break it down. And you can do that with anything that's going to happen. You can do that with a fight, with sparring. The best point fighters that I've worked with know what I'm going to do before I do, because they've done these very subtle, simple things with the way they position their body, and knowing that I instinctively am going to react in certain ways by turning away. When they start to shift in this direction, I inherently shift in this direction, which takes away certain techniques. And so that means I'm only going to be able to attack with, these 3 techniques. So they prepare for those 3 techniques from that position. It's going to go to the head, or it's going to go to the body. So now maybe they have like 6 things they've got to worry about. It's a lot better than 50 or 100 or infinite. Don't be afraid to break things down. Don't be afraid to play out scenarios. What is a form? It's a scenario. Once you get through the application, once you get through the bunkai or whatever you call it in your system, it's a scenario. And you can refer back to that scenario to see how things may go. You could also take that application and say, where might this go different? In the midst of chaos, there is also opportunity. When the stock market crashed early in the year, that's when I bought. The timing worked out really well for me. I had moved out of my prior investment vehicle. I was using Acorns. No endorsement for that. If you struggle at saving, Acorns or similar tools are great. The problem with Acorns is it wasn't actually making me money. The management fees were killing any of the profit I was taking. So I moved over to Robinhood. If anybody wants a code for Robinhood, just reach out to me. They're not a sponsor. I don't want to do that kind of stuff on this show, but you can get a free stock if you use my code, whatever. So I moved in and bought things that seemed reasonable, and what did I come out at? I think my portfolio is up 14 point something % so far. Yay. Is that awesome? No, but I'm figuring it out. I'm learning. Chaos is constant. There's always something chaotic going around. You could say that this entire year has been chaotic. There's still opportunity. The martial arts schools that I work with that are doing a better job, they're more likely to survive than the ones that aren't doing a better job, that aren't really making an effort to survive. So they're more likely to survive. And the schools that go away, most of those students are going to want to continue training. So you're going to have a few new schools pop up, but those schools that weathered the storm, they're going to absorb some students. You can say the same thing about any business. You can say the same thing about a lot of things. If you're in the mindset to focus on the problem, the chaos, that's all you'll see. But if you start to train yourself to look for opportunities, to look for where things could work out better, you'll find it. Frank's chiming in, all great things happen near chaos. Ooh, I like that. You've got that in quotation marks. I don't know who said that, but I like it, and I agree. If you are strong, appear weak. But if you are weak, appear strong. Oh, Stephen Covey said that. Okay, I get it. And the guy knows his stuff. He's an author. Stephen Covey. Which book was his? Trying to remember. Frank's going to remind me in a moment. If you were strong, appear weak. If you were weak, appear strong. Why? Why would you do that? You might think that if you were weak, appearing strong is just to confuse your opponent because you're weak, so what do you have to lose? But if you're weak and you haven't lost yet, you probably have other assets. You're probably smarter or patient. 7 Habits. Yeah, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I could see the cover of the book, I just couldn't see the words. If you're strong, appear weak. Why would you want to appear other than you are? Because it confuses your opponent. Because they develop a strategy, a plan, they implement an attack that isn't going to work. And you might think, well, what's the point? If you're weak and you get attacked by somebody who's strong, it's gonna be just as effective. Well, not necessarily. Have you ever kicked someone? Here's the best example. Have you ever kicked a shield? One of those compression shields. You ever kicked a shield and the person stepped back just a little bit? And what you were expecting to compensate for the power you put into that kick was no longer there. I've seen people nearly dislocate their hip or their knee doing that. If you expect something to be solid and you hit it and it's not, that doesn't work out as well. Maybe not, it's not as disadvantageous as the opposite, where someone is strong, they present as weak, you go to attack and you're overconfident and that doesn't work out because there's much more than you expected. I think you can draw some conclusions there. How do we apply that? Well, I think the major takeaway is don't underestimate your opponent. Be patient, be thoughtful, investigate when you can, and be tentative. If you watch most fights, whether it's boxing or MMA or point sparring, most of the time it starts very, very tentative. People are feeling each other out. They're not sure. What do I have to work with? That's why one of the most high-scoring techniques you will ever see is a blitz, a back fist reverse punch. This is in point sparring. A blitz over the top immediately after the match starts, before anybody has a chance to do anything. Just bam. Because most people are going to take the time to feel it out. It works. I've seen it work. I've used it. Victory is reserved for those who are willing to pay its price. The assumption that victory comes without consequence. Could be time. How many successful people sacrificed nothing? None. Sacrificed something. It was time. Or maybe they did something illegal. Maybe they sacrificed relationships. I sacrificed my 20s. I know exactly what I did. I would have done things a little bit differently, but the knowledge that I have now because of what I did then is worthwhile. Fortunately, I still look young. Can you see? I shaved. I shaved, cut my hair. Frank says he still needs to read The Art of War. I haven't read The Art of War. I wonder, is that book old? That book's got to be old enough that it's public domain. I could read it. I could read some unabridged, although the translations might have some ownership to them. I'm wondering if I could read it. I don't know if anybody wants my reading of The Art of War, but I'm thinking maybe I can read the book and get paid to do it. I got enough projects to work on. The new show, the new podcast, it's rolling right along. We had another call about it on Friday. Can't believe I forgot to mention that. It's going well. I'm super pumped. It's going to be a great show, you guys. Not taking anything away from martial arts radio. I love martial arts radio. I really do. But I like new things too. Shiny new projects. And I like working on things with people. Quite a few of you who watch are involved in some whistlekick aspect or another, and I really appreciate the help that you give. It's more fun to work on this stuff with other people. So much of what I do is almost in a vacuum. Nathan's giving a thumbs up. Yeah. Well, what do I sacrifice now? Sleep, relationships, money. You know, it's interesting. I think about the path I was on coming out of college. I could have had a fairly standard IT job. I could have made 40 grand out of college. This was 20 years ago. It wasn't bad money. Could have paid all my bills, had some spending money, could have moved up. And now, what would I be making now? Well into the six figures. I probably might have had to move out of Vermont, but I'd have a very different life. I wouldn't know any of you. There isn't one person on this call right now I would have known. Frank says, on Sunday I got you an early Christmas present. You'll see what I mean. Ooh. Well, I'm excited to see what that is. Thank you, Frank. You guys are all really good to me. I really appreciate it. There's something really unique about this show that I don't know anybody else is putting together. You know, it's strange. It's weird. Right? I'm in a bathrobe. I'm drinking coffee, and you're all here with me live watching this. Or maybe you're watching or listening later. It's a bizarre concept, but there's something about it that works. I don't know what it is, but I haven't tired of doing it. I still enjoy doing it. And I thank all of you who participate, who watch, who submit. Thank you to Frank for making sure I always have stuff to talk about. And so, I'm grateful. It's Thanksgiving week here in the US, so I'm just thinking about the things I'm thankful for, and you all are on that list. So I'm going to go. I'm going to get started with my day. I hope you will go check out Mr. Lee Band's episode, whether it's here on YouTube or elsewhere. I hope you'll leave some comments, some questions, some something for me to respond to for tomorrow's episode. And I hope you have a great day. I'll see you back here tomorrow, everyone. Take care. Peace.